Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Trends. And I am the motivational queen. The things that they're doing now. Tonight, I have another great interview for you guys. It's a woman by the name of Yolanda Lewis. She has Ravy Jewelry. She is super dope, super entrepreneur. This is her first ever time ever being on a platform, but for things. So it's going to be very interesting hearing from her, listening to the jewels that she has to drop and different things like that. So you like and let the people know who you are, where they can follow you at, what you do, how they can connect that.
Okay. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thanks to all of you who have joined the station to hear the podcast. Thank you, Moet, for the opportunity just to give a little exposure to Rave Jewelry. I appreciate it. But as she said, my name is Yolanda Lewis. I am the CEO and founder of Rave Jewelry, where I sell accessories and statement jewelry. And we're gradually adding like clothing, t-shirts, and some other things to it. Um, and I also will be changing the name soon to Jets and Jewels. I started a travel business. So I am also adding the title of travel consultant. So it will be Jets and Jewels, which is combining the two of my passions, travel and jewelry. You can find me on Instagram as Rave Jewelry. That's RAYV Jewelry. On Facebook, Rave, RAYV, just RAYV. So that's Facebook, it's Rave, RAYV. On Instagram is Rave Jewelry.
Nice. That's super dope. So how did you get into the jewelry business? Like how did you that was your passion and what really got you started with that?
Well, let me just say initially, I knew I wanted to start a business. I wasn't sure exactly what. I had a daughter. I had just gone through a divorce. Well, at the time I wanted to start a business, I was married. But I knew I wanted to do something like do a side hustle or something of that nature. And I just didn't have the time. Then I went through the divorce, and with the divorce, my daughter was very active. So I was taking her here, taking her there. She's very active. I was working full time. So my plate was full. So I was like, this is not going to work. So when my daughter graduated in 2018, I decided, you know what? This might be something that I can do. I already had a passion for jewelry. Even as a kid, I have some of my grandmother's jewelry. My grandmother passed, and all her jewelry went to me. But anyway, I love jewelry. And so I thought about it, but I had that little fear creeping in the back, like, girl, you're not going to be able to do that, and all those different things. And so I started buying jewelry for myself, and people like the jewelry. And so at that point, I decided, you know what, let's just do it. And so for me, I always believe in um, consulting God. So because I know if He blesses it, it's going to flourish. So I prayed about it, and He gave me the green light. And my first, I think my first two customers, number one was my aunt, and then two of my friends started buying, and to this day, they continue to buy. Um, but actually, it was my passion because I like the jewelry. But after going through the divorce, it was really like a healing journey for me, um, because I did not have a support system. When I went through my divorce, it was difficult, and I did not have a support system. And after going through that, it made me realize I'm not the only woman who's gone through this and who is going through it. And people need They need to find a way to heal. They need to find something to do to just kind of take their mind off it. They need to know that they are worthy. They are valuable. You lose your confidence. It's a whole set of emotions and all that stuff that you go through. So it eventually became like a healing for me, but it also allowed me the opportunity to show not just divorced women, but I say more so divorced women, because you go through so many different changes thinking that you are not worthy and that you are not attractive. You are not this, you are not that. So that became really my purpose behind it after going through the divorce.
Kind of like the process of how it was overcoming those fears and actually stepping out on faith and taking that initiative and different. Talk about that process.
Um, Initially, like I said, I felt like it was going to be a big hurdle. So I had no idea where to start, um, what to do. Again, the fear crept in. And I just kept praying about it. And I just, basically decided, okay, if you told me this is going to work out, it's going to work. So let's just do it. So I started asking different people questions. Because again, this is all new to me. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I started asking questions. I continued to try to get out and introduce myself to different people. I was always in church, so um, at church, people would ask about it. Um, and so it just kind of, it just started kind of kicking in like, you can do this. Like, yeah, it's going to be some hurdles. And yes, it's probably going to be difficult, but you can do it. So I basically, I prayed about it a lot. Um, I had two very good friends who, I mean, has been with me on this journey from day one. One of the friends, she actually kind of took me over the mountain or over the other side, because she convinced me like, you are worthy. Let's do it. Just do it. Don't even think about it. Just do it. And once I started, it actually, I'm not gonna say it got easier, but at that point, I was just like, you know what? If I've already started it, I'm just gonna finish. And yes, there was some days when it was difficult, but then there was some days when everything was, peachy, everything was going well. So I mean, I think you just have your hills, and so you have your hills, so you have your ups and you have your downs, your ups and your downs. But at the end of the day, um, when you pray about it, it helps you get through those difficult times. It helps you, and when you listen, God does talk to you. So if you listen and you tell him what it is that's going on, how do you feel? After you go through a divorce, you have to literally bury the person that you were married to. That's literally what you have to do to get past it. So, I mean, and I was still dealing with some of that, but I was like, hey, God built me for this. He would not have brought me this far and not let me walk the rest of the way. So that was basically my inspiration. And then after I started, what kept me going was, people don't realize, but your children, I have one daughter, they are watching. They are watching to see how you handle things. So I tell people all the time, don't think that your children aren't watching you. And your children kind of carry what they see you doing. um if if you cursing around them, if you smoking around them, anything that you're doing, they're picking up on it and they're going to follow it. But the one thing that did kept me going, my daughter is my why. And after I started, she one time told me, Mom, I am so proud of how far you've come. She said, do you realize? And I think she was only like, at this time, like 16. And I'm like, what 16 year? Well, number one, it surprised me because again, I knew she was watching, but you don't think they really paying attention to that because they just want to know we got groceries in the house, you paying for my dance lessons, all of that kind of stuff. So it threw me for a loop. Um, but it really broke me down when she said that because it let me know that I was doing the right thing. And I wanted her to see that in life you are going to have challenges. God's not going to let us get out of here without challenges. It's going to happen. But I was glad that she saw that because as a male or a female, in her case, I say a female because she is one. Um, but at 16, no, she's not dating seriously, but at some point you're going to get to that point. And I don't know, she may marry and have to deal with those same things. So I wanted her to see that there is light after at the end of the tunnel because she watched mommy go through a divorce. There were times when she and I cried together, and there were questions that she had and all those kinds of things. But I think when she realized, okay, she's taking that energy and she's doing something else with it, and she's doing something that she loves, and she's getting over what she's gone through. So I wanted her to know that you are going to go through things, period. We cannot avoid it, but you can get past those things. And you have to just change your mindset and decide, I'm going to get through it. Not if I get through it, I am going to get through it. And when I get to the other side, there's always going to be a rainbow after the storm.
Amazing. That is so amazing. And what is something that you would tell somebody that may be facing divorce or maybe going divorce or something right now? What is something that you would tell in regards to not losing themselves fully and really pursuing their passions?
Well, first of all, if that is what you're considering, first of all, you decide what's best for you. Because when I went through, people will always try to give you their advice, what they thought was good for them, why you shouldn't divorce. I mean, you people will give you or offer you advice that you didn't ask for. So first of all, don't let anybody else influence your decision. If you still decide, if you want to stay there and work it out, stay there and work it out. But if you decide you want to divorce, you go ahead and you do that. Don't let anybody tell you what's best for you. You decide what's best for you because only you can make you happy. Um, and then I will say it's not going to be, if you were truly committed to your marriage, and to your vows. For me, I was committed to my vows and to my spouse or to my ex-husband. So if you're truly committed to your vows, yes, it's gonna hurt. It is going to hurt. But it is a process. It's a process. If you love somebody, and you take your vow before God, you want to, you feel like, um, you're letting God down. But no, that's not the case. If it gets to the point and that person, you and that person decide, hey, let's just, it's not going to work. Let's just go on. Um, and if that's what's going to work for you, um, first of all, I will say be prayerful about it. Just pray about it. It's not going to be easy. There will be times when you feel like there is not a life. There will be times when you're confused, like in your mind, asking questions like, okay, where did I go wrong? What happened? How could I have changed it? Um, Sometimes you even get to the point of being a little depressed. But know this, you're going to come out of it. It is a process, but pray about it. Ask God to hold your hand, to walk you through. If you have really good friends and family, um, rely on your friends and family to help you through it. For me, I had a support system. My family was always very, very supportive from beginning to end. And it took me a little bit over a year to go through the divorce. And there were days when I thought, like, this is just like I'm sleepwalking. Um, but it's difficult. It is difficult. But just know that you will get through. Be prayerful. Continue to rely on those people who you know who those people that you know who love you and want to see you survive, and not just survive but to thrive. And so rely on that support. And there will be days when you feel like you just can't get through it. Call somebody, talk to somebody. Um, if you're going through depression, I know as Black women, we feel like therapy is not for us. That's a whole lie. If you feel like you need therapy, go talk to a therapist. You do whatever it is that you feel that you need to do for you to become whole again, and you will get there. I can't speak for when it will happen because it varies from one person to the other, but you will get there. So just hold on to your values, hold on to the woman that God created you to be, and just be prayerful about it.
Yes, that is amazing. That is amazing. So, in your business, since you started, what is one of the greatest accomplishments that you've had so far?
You cut, you, say that again, you're cutting out on me. Can you repeat it? Can you repeat what?
So, in your business,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, in your business, since you started, what is one of the greatest accomplishments that you've had so far?
Uh, my biggest accomplishment, honestly, is getting this started and um, being able to share this with other people. Just the fact, number one, that I got it started, because I didn't think I never in a million years thought I would ever get to the point of being a business owner or an entrepreneur. So for me, that in itself was a huge accomplishment, because I just, from the very beginning, I questioned if I was able to do it. And the fact that it is off, off to a running start. Um, when I first started, I was taking on all these different vendor events, going here, going there, just to get the exposure. And now I'm to the point that I can pick and choose who I want to vend with. Um, and it's just really, honestly, my biggest accomplishment, I think, with it is really to put a smile on a woman's face. You would be surprised at how many women will see a piece of jewelry and they will light up like a Christmas tree. So for me, that is my biggest accomplishment, just seeing somebody just smile from, I mean, something as simple as a piece of jewelry.
That is
So that's
amazing.
not really a two-part question. My accomplishment is seeing somebody else happy, but the on the flip side of that, the fact that I am where I am in this place, in this space right now, the fact that I'm even on a podcast with you, that's an accomplishment.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Well, definitely shouts out to you for the great work that you're doing. What is something like, what is one of the most major things that you want to accomplish in your business with your business?
Um, I would say the major thing would be to um to become a household name, is what I will say. Because in light of my growth, um, people still don't know. There are a lot of people who don't know who Rafe is. But it's not just in regards to the jewelry. I want people to know who I am as a person, because yes, I love the jewelry, but I love people. I love people. I love being around people. I love getting to know people. So for me, that's what it would be, to have a bigger audience, to get more exposure, and for Rave to become a household name.
That's amazing. And you're gonna get there. You're definitely gonna get there. You keep going, you definitely gonna get there.
Thank
Now,
you
in
so
regards,
much.
talk about being able to take advantage of different vending opportunities, and now you get to pick and choose. Talk a little bit about that process for somebody else that might be just starting and they're like, oh, well, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do that. Talk a little bit about that.
Um, well, what I will say, when you first start out, of course, nobody knows who you are. Nobody knew who Rave was. And so for me, and this is just from my perspective, I'm sure everybody has their own way of thinking and their own way of doing things. But for me, I wanted to get the exposure. Because yes, family and friends was buying the jewelry, but I wanted other people to know that Rave existed. And so I just started signing up for, I would see a vendor maybe on Facebook, or somebody would tell me about a vendor event. And I mean, I was going hard for, I want to say maybe the first year or so. And some events, I mean, I was just really paying a vendor fee, not even making the money back. Um, there were times I would go to vendor events, and I mean, you might have 4 or 5 different jewelry people, or people selling the same items that you're selling, or the same type of items that you're selling. So sometimes it was very discouraging. And my biggest thing about doing that initially was, um, and what really woke me up, although I pushed hard the first year or so because I knew I had to get my name out there. But it was also a learning process of what to do and what not to do, and who is your audience, and who is it that you truly want to do business with, because I believe in integrity. I believe in, excuse me, treating people the way I want to be treated. And I believe anybody who has a business, they should operate in integrity. Well, I expected everybody to do that, and that's not always the case. And so after a year, I felt like I had gotten out there enough, and I got to the point of picking and choosing, because again, everybody does not have integrity. What I was finding out was there were people who were having vendor events and they were not promoting the vendor events. So you might get there and you might have 20 people come through in 3 hours. I literally did a vendor event, and we amongst the vendors shopped with each other. And so, that's really a waste of your money. um, it took a lot of time. That was a lot of time you invested. uh, People who are doing these vendor events, you're actually having to take basically your whole inventory, go somewhere, drive to where you have to go, get there, load your vehicle up, get there, unload, set up, and then take everything out. And for me, it's a process, because um, I call myself precious cargo, because there are stones in the jewelry. A lot of my jewelry has stones and little detailed items on there. And so I don't want to just throw everything in a box and like, okay, let's go. No, I cannot do that. And so it was very disheartening to find out that a lot of people are really making money off the vendors and not doing their part by promoting their events. So that was a learning process for me. And additionally, some people don't really have the right attitude to deal with other people. Like, you cannot be promoting an event and you're walking around with an attitude. That is not good. So it was very much so a learning process for me as far as starting out. So for those who are new to the game, just kind of, sometimes you might be able to just go and I didn't think about it at the time, but now that I'm on the other side of that, you can just go to those events before you even sign up. Maybe they have an event and it's somebody you considering vendoring for. Go to one of their events and see how is it that they mingle with the people who are vending, even the customers. Look and see what they're doing, how much traffic is there. Look on social media in different places, see how they're promoting. Even you can go up to them, which I had to learn some of these things. You can go up to them, introduce yourself. Hey, I am Yolanda Lewis. Um, I have a statement jewelry company. I sell statement jewelry and accessories, and I just wanted to, kind of come and check out your event to see if maybe perhaps we can collaborate. Talk to the person, let them know that you're interested, and that's how you find out really what they're made of. Because some people may not necessarily be what you thought they were when you looked. So you just have to do pretty much your own research. Um, for me, I'm a very analytical person by nature, and my I do have a full time job. My full time job is an accountant. I'm very detailed. I'm very analytical. So for me, it's natural. As a matter of fact, my daughter tells me sometime we're talking and she'll be like, "Mom, you're not at work. Stop analyzing everything." But it's inside of me. That's just who I'm made up. That's who I am. And so for me, not even now, I do that sometimes. I'll go to an event just to kind of see, okay, let's see what the atmosphere is like. What is the traffic flow like? Let me find out the person that's having the event. Sometimes I'll go on social media pages. Let me see how much they are promoting their event. And then even sometimes when I talk to them, I'll ask, well, hey, I saw you on Facebook. Are you promoting on any other, platforms, whatever? Um, and it is going to be a process. It is a learning process, but you will eventually find out what works for you, because what works for somebody else may not necessarily work for you. So you learn, um, but ask questions. If you have questions, I highly recommend that you ask questions, because that's the only way that you will know. And once you kind of start figuring out some things that work for you or don't work for you, you'll know who you want to do business with.
Right. That is amazing. That is amazing. And just as I hear you speaking and I hear you talking, I can see you creating a course and different things like that to help other people being able to do this. So that's amazing. You have a lot of details in regards to this. So what is the next big thing for Rave?
Um, like I said, the next big thing right now is Rave will become eventually Jets and Jewels. And let me share this really, really quick since we're on here. For those who would like to help me out, I'm a travel consultant. And right now we're going through a 30-day challenge. So in 30 days, I need to be able to get 125 people on a Zoom call. So if you want to help me out with that, reach out to me, and let me know, hey, I'm interested. All you have to do is get on the call, listen to the call. Um, and of course, if you have questions, feel free to ask me about the questions afterwards. But if you love to travel, I promise you it's phenomenal. But as far as Rave, the next biggest thing for Rave is hopefully to eventually get away from the 9 to 5 and be able to do Rave. Um, Actually kind of split my time between Rave and a travel business, because right now people call me for things, or sometimes there are people who want me to do things during the week, and of course I can't do them because I work a 9 to 5. So right now I'm working towards and praying about getting out of the 9 to 5. I've been in corporate for, oh gosh, probably almost 40 years, and I am personally ready to go, but I have to be able to support myself otherwise. So I am being really, really prayerful about that.
Right. That's amazing. And you will get there. You're definitely gonna get there. There ain't no hopefully in it.
Thank you. Thank you for that confidence. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
So the last question that I have for you is, if you could go back and talk to your younger self before all of this, before the divorce, before all of everything, what would you say to you?
I would say to me, a younger self, I would have said to not take life so seriously. Um, and the reason I say that because I've always been pretty much business, like it's been all business with me. Um, I in high school, I was my siblings called me a nerd, but I was all about school. I had a plan, and my plan was to finish school, um, and to not just finish school, but to be in a position where I could get a scholarship. So I was in the top 10% of my class. I went on to Dillard University, woohoo, a HBC in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I was determined that I was going to finish in 4 years. So I did work study. I had a job off campus. I was a resident assistant, and I still did like 22. I did anywhere from 22 to 24 hours per semester because I was determined to get out in 4 years. So in all that time that I was in school, I went to one party. um, and so for my younger self, I would have said, enjoy yourself a little bit more, have fun. um, I'm thankful that God got me to the point that I am now. But now that I look back, I wish that I had done some of the things that you do in college to have fun. But I was just always working. I was studying. There were times I would get off from work and go to my dorm, eat, take a shower, and I would fall asleep like trying to study for a test the next morning. So just enjoy your younger years. That's what I would say to the to younger me, and to anybody who is out there. Get out there and just have a little fun. No, don't go crazy, because I mean, yeah, you still have to be responsible, um, and you have to prepare for a life. You have to prepare for life. You can't stay with mom and dad forever. You need to get out, get your own place, but just have a little bit more fun. Life is too short. And as I age and I see all that's happening around me, um, I am at the point where I am trying to do, or I am doing some things that I generally would have put off doing. Um, Now I'm to the point, if I want to do it, I'm just going to figure out a way to make it work. Enjoy life. Life is but a vapor. Like God does not promise us. He could take me right now while I'm on this podcast. So just learn to enjoy life. Don't go crazy. Still, have some sense, but enjoy it. Enjoy your younger years, because as like we don't really, number one, we don't even know what our expiration date is. So just enjoy it. Enjoy your friends. Keep up with those people that you were close to, all of those things. But enjoy life is what I would say to my younger self.
Amazing, amazing. That is an amazing message. So one last time, let the are what you do, how they can follow you, how they can connect with you, all of that great stuff.
Again, my name is Yolanda Lewis, and I am the CEO and founder of Rave, and that's RAYV. On Instagram, it is Rave, RAYV Jewelry. On Facebook, it is just Rave, RAYV, Rave. If you are interested in learning more about the travel, you can go to either Instagram or Facebook and leave me a message there. I'll check my messages. Um, or you can actually, if you'd like, you can send me an email to ymlewis ymlewis65 at gmail. That's ymlewis65 at gmail. And also be looking forward to, I do not have a website as of yet, but at the rate that I'm growing, I decided I am going to have to get one, because I constantly have people when I'm out and about asking, do you have a website? So that will be coming shortly. So thanks again for all of you who have gotten on to learn a little bit more about rave. I truly appreciate it. And I am so excited and so thankful to Moet for just putting it out there and being so gracious and working with me. The secret, y'all, is I told her before the podcast to have a little grace on a sister because this was my first one. But because of her, I got through it.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I'm so grateful that you came, that you trusted me with your first experience and everything. Hang tight for a second. Once I close it out, then I'll let you know the next steps and get the information. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank each and every one of you guys that tuned in. That got some gems. If you didn't catch any gems, I definitely suggest that you start this over from the beginning and grab a notepad so that way you can tell us anytime someone is speaking. There's all of that good stuff. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that tuned in. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that stay during this entire process, that trust me during this entire process from the beginning, whether you like, share, whatever the case may be. I truly appreciate all of that. And remember that life is too short to be anything but motivated. Now get out there and turn your dreams into a vision and make that your reality. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.